Socialization, they say, begins from the cradle to the grave. The Buhari Media Support Group was established with that name, but a couple of months back, it metamorphosed from the Buhari Media Support Group to the Buhari Media Organization, BMO. Recently, they paid what I would call a strategic visit. It's not an ordinary visit because that visit had a lot of coloration. There was a PowerPoint presentation. It went with an avalanche of the Exit2 and Inc2 members of that group. It was an extraordinary session with Mr. President. And the startling point is that unlike when a media group visits the president, it should be talking about image laundering. But Mr. President came up with charges on the need for the group to sustain the anti-corruption onslaught, assist government to recover more loots. That is not for now. My guests to discuss this, I have the coordinator of Buhari Media Organization, Austin Braimoh. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And also, let me say, an Exit2 member or an associate member of that group, I believe you soon be, is the MD Enentis Communications Limited, Peter Ademu. Peter Ademu is also a public relations consultant. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
It's my pleasure.
Good. Now, one expected an organization like yours visiting Mr. President for him to go into the area of image laundering, but he veered off, which was a surprise to all of us in the media. Let me give you this. Mr. President said at that visit, opposition is in possession of much resources that can sponsor mischief against this administration.
Yes, the president was directly not just throwing a challenge at us, but intimating us that the task ahead is enormous. And we had, before then, enumerated the challenges we had, starting from the period this organization started as the media and publicity arm of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. We explained on that day, or I did, that immediately the president emerged as candidate, we were called to come and work as the arm of the campaign council, media and publicity. Garba Shehu then was our director. A number of Nigerians, very prominent Nigerians, were members of that group, and we all worked tirelessly. In fact, I used to tell people that we worked with bare hands. Like I said on that day, this group, after the president won, decided that, well, we will still remain part and parcel of him. So we transmuted into a kind of NGO. I want to call it an NGO because we are not under government payroll. We take care of ourselves. And so we called ourselves the Buhari Media Support Group. We created an office where we meet regularly to defend the policies of this government and to ensure that Nigerians understand who Muhammad Buhari really is. Because the problem is that a lot of people do not understand who Buhari is. Some deliberately don't want to understand who he is. Some simply just don't like him for who he is. And so we have been a group that kind of stand in the gap between the people and those in government. We have played a great role in helping his main media team, led by Femi Adesina, Garba Shehu, Laolu Akonde, and the rest, and we've been there for them. We work on a daily basis to provide them feedback from the people, and we try to translate what they say about the president in our own way to the people. We reminded the president the role we played when he was ill, when he went abroad.
Ademu, one would have expected, like I said in my opening, that being a visit by a media group or a media organization, it would have been, the discourse would have been tilted towards image laundering, reactionary, all that, rejoinders, all that, how to handle them. But the surprise is that having ICPC in place, having EFCC in place, having the security apparatus in place, why give this challenge to a media organization over recovery of looted funds?
What Austin said, I will build on it and then I'll get to your question. I am not a member of the support organization or the media organization, but I've been watching the activities from the sidelines. One thing that, without sounding critical, that has not impressed me. One, most of the Buhari's media handlers, the work being done so far has been knee-jerk approach, reactionary in nature, combative in nature. I am yet to see issues-based media management. There are a lot of issues. And don't forget that in 2015, when this Buhari Support Media Organization was formed, the president had not won the election yet. They were in opposition. And like people say, it's easy to criticize, to say, and to even promise, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. 3 years down the line, I stand to be corrected. Even the president has faced a lot of challenges, a lot of complex, intricate challenges that will necessitate a kind of a step change, if not a paradigm shift. But I'm here to see a response that's commensurate with the responses. That is, by the way. To your question, I know the president knows that the challenges facing him has to do with galvanizing all and sundry in fighting corruption. Now, even the messaging around corruption is not synchronized. Because as I talk with you now, as I have been seeing from the sidelines, I don't see synergy between Buhari media team. I don't see it. Number two, the media as it is, even with the growing stakeholder sophistication, the media plays a key role in attitude and behavior change. The media plays a key role in galvanizing and mobilizing people at the grassroots. The media plays a key role in perception management. So you see that the task there, the media also, beyond just communicating, the media should also add work in tandem with some public relations people to say, okay, it's not just about going to the media. When it comes to messaging.
But I thought the organization is more or less a public relation arm of the media team.
For where so far in the activities,
he just said they are not funded. They're on their own. They are
yes,
more or less an NGO.
Yes, yes. The fact that they are not funded, that they are an NGO, that does not make them to be a public relations team. Their focus is to use the media to project or to protect or defend the president. Now, protecting or projecting or defending the president using the media, there are a lot of front-end works that have to be done. A kind of front-end social engineering that public relations people can do. For example, if you look at president's foreign visits and some of the, though the presidency said that it was misconstrued, but I feel that they didn't do a lot of front-end work on the president. So I think what I'm saying in essence is that the president knew what the task he was throwing to the media organization to say, look, help me. In this battle against corruption, there are lots of disjointed messaging. And don't forget that opposition is fighting back. Don't forget, the corrupt will not like it. Now, the man on the street, if you look at in the past 3 years, the man on the street, what is his perception about the president? Yes, you are fighting corruption, but there's hunger in the land. The issue of herdsmen killing, what is the messaging around it? Now, you see contradictory messaging. The president said people should learn to live in peace with their neighbors. He went to the UK and said, oh, there is a follow-up of Gaddafi, ISIS, whatever. The IG of police said it's communal clash. The Minister of Defense said, oh, it's about the open grazing bill.
Now, he has made his open thoughts. You have really, that's the essence of this now.
Yes.
Now, I remember vividly when Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was before the Senate to be screened. And one question that I was asking was, you did so well as Public Secretary of APC in opposition. Do you think you do so well as Minister of Information, managing information or managing the image of government? Now, in line with this, you have said that those days it was so difficult, even with money, you could not get visible space in the print and electronic media. So will you say it is that easy now that you're in the comfort zone? Because when I say comfort zone, you are now at the driving seat. People like Eteh are now observing you. Is it the same?
Let me appreciate the angle taken by my colleague and friend.
Yes.
We don't hide away from problems, and we don't cover our problems. But our problems don't deter us. So the purpose of analyzing what we pass through as the media campaign team then was the fact that we had a lot of problems. We had so many, and we surmounted them, and we attained victory. Now, as a media support group, things have not been better in terms of funding.
So that's media support group
yes,
organization?
As a media support, before we get to the organization, we have been forming as media support group until our president agreed to ask for a second term. When our president agreed to ask for a second term, we looked at our program agenda. Yes, there's need for us to move from support to a more active organ. And so that was what informed our change from support group to organization. Having said that, I want to look at the area of his concern. He's a PR man. The team I had is structured along 4 departments. I have a public relations department with seasoned PR practitioners and members. And I have a print media department with experienced ex-editors. I have a broadcast department with experienced broadcasters. Then I have a social media team that has a lot of reach on the social media. Some in US, some in Britain, some are in Nigeria, some are part members. So we have a large and well-structured organization.
So how really are you funded?
That is the issue. Yeah, the funds are never enough. So as a result, you cannot say our messages are disjointed. You can say our messages have not been far-reaching enough. Far-reaching to the extent of our funds, what funds we are able to get from well-meaning Nigerians. Like an NGO, we rely on the goodwill of people. Some people say, oh, you people are working very hard, we drop this for you as allowance. And we use that. So we are not government funded. We don't depend on any particular individual, but we believe in the president, and so we work to ensure that we deliver what we can. We stand in the gap in all these areas. So that people will say, okay, the government media team, where the fund is not there. You can see that this government has a focus. When they came in, the funds were not there, and we saw it clearly.
Okay.
They needed funds to execute programs, the funds were not there, and most of the funds were kept away, were stolen. Okay. And so the first thing was...
Let us move out of our domain,
okay,
using Mr. President's positions, and see how we can profile ideas or solutions to these entities. Now, he also said the opposition looted so much money before he assumed office that his administration may not be able to recover all and might use same against his government. He went on, opposition now sits on incredible resources which yes, I am afraid we cannot get it all. Now, some persons try to interpret this to say he's still doing the blame game. But for me, I saw it as food for thought for those who think the anti-graft war is on course. So what do you make of this, Peter?
Well, I look at this as single.
I listened copiously to Mr. President.
I listened to the president's speech. Now, we know that a lot of money has been stolen before. That is not news. We also know that the people who are stealing the money, they would like to use the money to protect their own interests. That is not news. What I would think the president should be talking about, because the idea of referring to previous government, Nigerians are tired. We want a situation where we have identified the problem. Okay. We know. Nigerians know that, look, before now things were bad. We know. Even the man in the market woman, the tomato seller, down to the chief executive in any skyscraper, high-rise building in Lagos or Abuja. Now, so what government now should do, the current government should do its own thing. If we know that the fight is tight, it's going to be tight, we know. Because in 2019, it's not going to be business as usual. The stakeholder sophistication has grown. ICT has made communication more diverse and more volatile, real-time, online. So we know that for you to engage in a lot of media communication, you need money. It's like people say you can't use bare hands to go and fetch fire. Fire will burn you. So what I'm saying, for the president saying it for me, is singing to the choir, that we know that these are the challenges. But I would have expected that the media team, the media organization, the Sheikh Garuba, Femi, I don't know how the nexus between the media organization,
Lara
Conde, I don't know, they are an NGO. I don't know the nexus, the connection between the media organization and then the president's official media handlers. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that as it is now, we know that a lot of money has been stolen. That is known. So, what is the way? And to say that we are not going to be able to recover everything, that is also true. Because beyond the president's interest in fighting corruption, there are many impediments. The judicial process, it has been cumbersome.
That is where I'm coming from now.
Yes.
I'll get to Austin's thought. What I just said here,
yes,
with these statements now,
yes,
what possibly can be done to surmount this, since it's still there?
Fine. What can be done to surmount it is to, one, be thinking of institutional reforms. Because look at the way the judiciary is. If you steal Nokia phone, Nokia 330, within 3 months you are in jail. All those who stole billions, where are they today? It's kind of a dress rehearsal. You are arrested by EFCC. Maybe after 2, 3, 4 days, you get 4, 5 senior advocates of Nigeria. You are bailed, and the case goes on and on. Technical fighting for technical jurisdiction, adjournment, ex parte motion, this and that. For me, the beginning point, the president should work with the National Assembly for institutional reforms, especially judicial reforms that will simplify the processes.
Okay, let me hold there.
Okay.
Austin, what's your thought on this? And he has just said something. He has picked the holes, put holes in it, and given a solution to it.
He's talking like an ordinary Nigerian. When I say ordinary Nigerian,
yes,
those who just believe that, oh, you keep repeating the same thing, To them, they want to hear news every day from the president. Anything the president must say must be something new. Okay. I don't think that is necessary. There must be emphasis. As a father, if you are sending a message, you must emphasize and re-emphasize that message so that it will sink. Like I said just now, funding is our problem. So that this message, like he mentioned, should be far-reaching, should get down. So discordant messages like he observed in his own analysis will not be there. So there will be coordinated interpretation of messages and dissemination of messages. Okay. For this to take place, you need funding. So the father whose duty is to dispense this funding must continuously remind you that the challenges are not have not yet been overcome, and that you must still be ready to work as hard with little as you have been doing, and try to be innovative. So this is the message we got from our father. So it is not an old story. It is not. It is not an old song like he's saying.
Okay. So
and he's still reminding us. Let me give you an example. Okay. The fight against corruption has not been won, but it's a process and it is ongoing. Now, there are about 5 bills on anti-corruption that are still with the National Assembly, unattended to. The president said in 2016, reiterated the need for special courts to handle corrupt cases. When the CJ was going to be sworn in, it was repeated. The CJ early this year reiterated it. And what did he say again? He said the process of setting up anti-corruption courts is now left with the National Assembly and the executive. Now, what has stopped the National Assembly from setting up the passing the bills? What is holding the anti-corruption courts? These are the things we need to find out. Okay. And then the question of the president should work with the National Assembly is not the issue. Working with each other is there. But the problem still exists. We are politicians. Whose interests are you here to protect? My interest, the interest of the people. That is where the problem lies. Everyone tries to pontificate. The president is held down. And we must recognize that. Okay. And those of us who want to send the message down the line must tell the people the truth that the president is held down. And continuously he must remind you that this change we are saying that we want, that we're expecting, cannot just fly down except institutions are strengthened. Sure. And you cannot strengthen institutions without the collaboration of both the Senate, the legislature and the executive. Okay. What is the response from these arms of government in institutional building? That is what Nigerians need to know. That's where they need to be reminded that it is not just mouthing something. Okay. And so it's better that we understand. Serap came up to say they are going to take the executive, that is the president, to court if he fails to prosecute the legislators that Dr. Konjo Iweala said he gave 17 billion to in order to pass 2015 budget. In a book, it is not hidden that the finance minister of this country in 2015 had to give the sum of 17 billion naira to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in order to pass 2015 budget. And then a socioeconomic group like Serap, Accountability Project, said, since this revelation has been made, we want the president to prosecute. If president, yes, the president can initiate it. Okay. at this period, what do you expect?
This now leaves me with what I've always called media funding. Now, I remember a public relations expert sometime on this program has said that, yes, the PR practitioners are always there to clean the mess. When you give ideas, they ignore. When the mess is there, they leave it for you to clean. I had a chat with a political analyst, and he said, democracy is a process and not a destination. So, coming up now, media management for me is not a destination, it's an evolving thing. Yeah. And the strategies are huge. It depends on which one you pick. So in this case now, funding media, how best can we fund media to give us a holistic and robust achievement? Because media is open-ended. For a country like Nigeria, for instance, if you fund a particular campaign in received English, you must think about Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, the major languages. You must also think about what they call the pidgin English for you to go around. So let's look at it. Media funding. How has media funding been? When I say media funding, PR inclusive.
Thank you. I will take a step back before I answer the question.
But briefly.
Briefly.
I want us to cover a lot of mileage.
Now, one thing that is burning in my heart now. Even the president's modest achievements, they have not been communicated.
How?
Adequately.
Well, they have not been communicated. Two, perception drivers that they should use to drive the campaign have not been used. For example, since President Buhari became president, I am not aware that he has commissioned one road. Meanwhile, I know there are lots of roads going on, construction going on. For me as a PR person, I will, because we normally advise our principals, so okay, can we concentrate on this? Because campaign must tally with perception drive. People must connect to it. So it's okay, let's concentrate on one road each in each geopolitical zone. First year in government, we have done the roads, commissioned them. Okay, second year maybe hospitals. But as we talk now, 3 years down the line, I'm not aware that any road has been commissioned, federal road though, by the president. I'm not aware any hospital has been commissioned by the president or any school.
But must projects be commissioned even if they are completed?
Yes.
Is it a law that a project
it's not a law.
Okay.
It's not a law, but it helps people to, it's part of building that grassroots support, part of driving public perception to know that, oh, if a road is commissioned, for example, in Akwa Ibom State.
Because sometimes I remember a very senior officer in government said, even the cost of fixing the commissioning ceremony, that money is enough to start that project.
No. That one, in the era of corruption, they would like to commercialize it. But I believe in this present government now, a commissioning ceremony can be as simple as possible. He's also said it's a landmark. Good. To media funding. Okay. Now, for us, when we're talking about media funding, it cannot come from government alone. It has to be public partnership. Now, when we're talking of funding, when we must put it in the context of what we are talking about. Media ownership, media owners have their own agenda. Every media house established in this country, the owners have their own agenda, what they want to achieve. Now, people who use the media, we use the media. And it's because it is there that we can use. So my first thought on it is that one, government and the investors should also look at media funding as part of their corporate social responsibility. They are going to gain from it anyway, like NTA. NTA is not established because government wants to make money. NTA is established for nation building. It's established for public enlightenment, mass mobilization. And I think private investors should also involve more money in it. Two, political organizations or socio-cultural organizations that use the media, they should be able to have robust budget to help their groups communicate more and achieve more. For example, Austin has been talking about the challenge they have they're an NGO and they need funding. And that funding cannot come from government alone. It can come from public spirited individuals, people who believe in what they are doing to so let us support. When funding is adequate, they will be able to, one, do a lot of what we call baseline data or even continued data, because you know the demographics change over time. Okay. Between 2015 and now, the demographics have changed of the voters or even the thinking of the people. Two, in terms of messaging and message segmentation, you need money. You need experts that will look at they look at the demographics and say, okay, which message now will fit these people? It cannot be one cap fits all. That is there. Third point, now the electronic media is commercialized. Every news we are going to place, every jingle, every advert is commercialized. Even outdoor billboards that we see, The man on the street does not know the cost of an average billboard. A unipole billboard that you want to place your advert, for example, for 1 year, for 1 page, is about 2 million naira. Just one pole, a billboard standing on one pole, called a unipole, is about 2 million naira. So without adequate funding of the media, the citizenry will be underinformed. Okay. They will be misinformed, and half-truths will be peddled. And then the kind of an atmosphere of blackness will envelop the nation. And that is not good for national development.
Okay, that takes me to Braimoh now. I had a guest sometime who said that for things to go in line with what Ademu just said, is that we don't need to wait until we react. You have told us an avalanche of expertise you have. Is it possible that now that you're speaking now, we have those who are available to you to assist you do the good work you're doing? Say, look, we need to do more to enable the Buhari Media Organization to do more. What kind of appeal can you make? Because this is what we're looking at now.
Yeah, before the...
For you to be, for you to adequately, I just said, roads are constructed, hospitals are, a lot of projects are on, the facts are clear. Yeah. But he does not seem to know them, because according by him, the media team is not bringing out these things based on perception management. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I understand where he is coming from.
Okay.
And part of it, I want you to understand is that this government does not follow the pattern already set by other governments. This is a government of change. While I agree with you that certain indices drive public relations, and which is politics, this government does not totally align with that. And in your comments, you also mentioned is that the fund for instance, commissioning, what you even spend there is enough to do part of the work. So yes, while it is profitable to play politics with government projects, but I think it is the least concern of this president. The president doesn't want to see projects on ground and actualize. Let the project sell themselves. Then it is our job to tell the public that yes, this is what this government passed through, this is what this cost, and this is what we went through in getting you this. If you look at FCT, for instance, the number of roads alone, overhead bridges that are being done, some that have been completed, those who are resident in FCT know that we have never had it so good. Do you expect this government to abandon all those projects and start new ones so that it can complete it and finish? Or the one that was started by Goodluck Jonathan and will complete it, president should come with glee and start commissioning it? This government is not about starting new projects. When the PDP threw a challenge some time ago, tell us some projects you started and completed in 2 years, we were laughing at them. Do you want us to dance to your music? This is not a government that abandons former projects and starts its own in order to show to people that we are working. There's hardly any place, region to region, where projects that were started by the last administration, even more than 16 years ago. 1975 project was electricity project was completed in Gombe, I think, which started in 1975. By this government, it has been completed. So what I'm trying to point out to my colleague is that yes, some government like to play politics, some regimes like to play politics, which is public relations. Yes, we can only do that to some extent. I don't try to agree. We can only do that to some extent. We don't want to do that, because you have to look at, you must read the body language of principal. And you cannot tell him to come and play politics with public funds. Okay. And what we do is, yes, drive the message, what is being done. Let people see it. They are on ground. And then as regards the funding that you mentioned, yes, I agree with you entirely that you need public-private partnership in funding the media. At the same time, the government itself, I'll use this opportunity to, in fact, appeal to the government to look at that angle in terms of funding its own media. As I'm talking to you now, Radio Nigeria is supposed to be functioning in all the geopolitical zones. There are some zones where their station have been shut down for upward of 3 months due to lack of just mere diesel, because the what you call Jinko will not supply them light. They will exaggerate their bills because they'll be sold to private entrepreneurs. And so they cut off Radio Nigeria, which is supposed to be one of the biggest means of communication to some regions. And they are not operating. Sometimes they operate 2-3 hours a day. So these are government media. I do not say of NTA. I don't know whether you are well funded. But if it is, yes. If the Minister of Information has enough funds, I believe he would have been even looking our way. We are a baby to them. I believe that the federal government need to fund its own media, and I'll say it and say it with every sense of responsibility. It's an appeal that the federal government should look into funding of its own media very seriously, looking at what is coming in front, the battle ahead. Yes, The president has said it clearly that the funds in the hands of the opposition is enormous.
Okay.
Then we are not going to fight with bare hands. Certainly we need more money. So the private sector need to look at us too, because they will need us. Let them also think of what to do about our situation and then help.
Okay. In the words of the Minister of Information and Culture, in one of these is public engagements, I think at a project site, precisely I think Osun State, Osogbo, he said, yes, we have been penciled as completing projects. He said, but the projects we complete, when we came and assessed that these projects have socio-economic impact on the people, we have no business abandoning these projects. Let me bring up an issue now. Sustainability of projects. It looks as though currently it is very visible at the national level, but at the state and local government, is it that way? Because if, like he said, he has reasoned that way, a project that should benefit the people, I came on board and I abandoned it because it was not my initiative.
Yes.
I start a new one. So, but it looks as though that's common at the federal level. At the state and local government level, it doesn't seem to be playing out. You find governors come in, start new initiatives, dump the old one, even if payments have gone almost like
Half.
completion is almost 95%, they dump it and start something new, which they end up abandoning. So what do you say to this? Sustainability.
Well, development without sustainability it will always be a disaster. It's the sustainability that brings the benefits of the project to the lives, to improve the quality of lives of the people. But having said that, it does not really mean that if your government has gone and I'm here now and I'm completing your project, the citizens have a right to know. They have a right to know. Okay. That is about the current completion of projects. Now, project commission is not about spending money. It's about, like, it's a milestone event to say, cut the tape, this is happening now. That is by the way. But at the state level and the local government levels, I will not comment about local government levels, because in this country, I do not know of any single local government that is functioning. I'm not aware. The governors have collected the money through the back door, through joint accounts allocation. The money comes, the local government is the third tier of government, and the governors have unconstitutionally. Government is not about you, it's about the people. And so there should be continuity. There should be sustainability. Now, the government that was in power before, you don't forget, people voted for them. And they thought that this project will benefit the people. Why will you not want to continue in it? The sad aspect of it is that in many states across Nigeria, they have not continued with the projects of their predecessors, and neither have they initiated their own projects. And if they initiated their own projects, it is what is white elephant projects that have no bearing on the needs of the people. And that is not right. Our governors should be able to be humble enough and be knowledgeable enough. They think governor is about personality court. It's about I, me, myself. This is my government. My government will not tolerate this. It's not your government. It's the people's government. Okay. That completing previous regimes, abandoned programs or projects, I thought it's a good thing to do. And the state governments should wake up and know that the government does not belong to them. It's power to the people, government of the people, for the people and by the people. You are there by courtesy of the vote the people gave to you. And completing projects that will benefit the people, whether they are in opposition, whether like in many states of Nigeria, a governor comes to power and be looking at this senatorial district, they didn't vote for me. So every ongoing project there is stopped. And they will not initiate new ones. Okay. That is condemnable. Okay. We should be able to carry, as a governor, we are father to all in your state. You should be able to complete projects that will benefit the people and make it in a sustainable manner. So that even after you, even if you don't win election next year, the next person coming will continue from where you stopped.
Okay. So what can be done to depart from this trend?
What President Muhammad Buhari is doing right now, complete every project that was started by the previous government, because this project belongs to Nigerians. Any project abandoned is criminal, waste of public resources. Any contractor that abandons a project must be made to face the music, because it's public resources. Okay. You go after that contractor, make the person refund. If there are technical issues, sort them out, let it settle the contractor, let him continue and complete that project. We are not interested whose name is attached to that project. What this government is interested in, that this project is completed and is completed and is going to benefit Nigerians. And we are more interested in that rather than say, oh, I'm starting a new project, let me commission it, let the people say. We are getting to the dichotomous situation is coming. Let Nigerians choose whether you like noisemakers or you want pragmatic persons. You want a president that gives you results, or you want a president that makes noise. Yes, some noise will be made, according to my colleague. Yes, but this government is not all about noise. But I do not agree that we should not fund the media. I do not agree that we should not make some noise. But while we are pragmatically approaching and solving the problems, the people need to know. And that is why the issue of funding must be taken very seriously. Public relations will be done, and we are doing it. Like I said, we are hampered by funds.
This one man,
in every department.
He's
not interested in my outfit because we don't have the money.
No, I'm interested. Who
okay. If you are ready to work without money, please, you are welcome.
Now, the people need to know. Now, in the strength of the Freedom of Information Act, what should the people do outside waiting for media organizations or media teams to churn out what government has done? What should the people do so that they know what government? Because if I'm a citizen and I'm just docile, I'm complacent, I don't give a damn about what government is doing, but I need to know what the government is doing. Because if I travel out as a private citizen, somebody becomes curious. Are you Nigerian? Yes. How is your government doing? That's a big question for you. For you to say you don't know, it looks very disturbing. So what role should the citizens play to enable them to know what the government of the day is doing across board?
Well, I think the citizens will need to get more involved in the governance process. We must get to hold our leaders accountable. But what we see today is a lot of lethargy, complacency, obduracy, where people just think that government is somewhere and they are somewhere. Have you seen government passing before? We are the government. Why do I say we are the government? We may not be in the saddle or in the steering wheel of governance, but we voted for the people. Now, election is coming next year. Have you noticed, Omini? All those from presidency down to councillor, are we not talking to the people who voted for us now? So we should get involved. It's not about electing them and going to sleep until the next 4 years come. They come back to us. We should be able to be interested in day-to-day running of the government. We should be able to ask questions. And with the Freedom of Information Law, we can demand for some information.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
same question to me.
Yes, I agree with him. I have nothing much to add, and I share his perspective on this.
Okay. When we began, it looks as though we may not have a direction, but you see that all the thoughts, food for thought Mr. President gave the Buhari Media Organization have a lot of in-depth perspectives to them.
Sure.
Well, all I'll say is, and I hope I'm not using the public domain to ask. This is an opportunity to put a hold on, give a hold on Peter Ademu to join you on your team.
He's invited if he can work without money. Nigerians like money a lot.
No, well, we run a commercial organization.
And we are not a commercial.
We have bills to pay.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, it was nice having a wonderful chat with you.
You are invited.
I think we've been able to give life to something we thought had no life.
Yes.
Peter Ademu, Public Relations Consultant and the MD Enmentis Communications Limited. Thanks for your thoughts.
It is my pleasure.
And Buhari Media Organization Coordinator, Austin Braimoh. Always nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.